Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. I bid to our lovely lecturer, Dr. Ezrina Adzali, and to all other members of GSS my team. Today, I will present about our four-wheel current system. Before going further, I will first introduce you to our team members. First one is me myself as the team leader of GSS my, and the next one is system analyst Muhammad Izzat Imran Muhammad Shah, and the next one is system designer Syarul Aiman bin Jamal Abnasi, and the next one is our system developer Ahmad Nurifan bin Jamadi, and the next one is our programmer Aminuddin Mu'min bin Zulkifli. Next, I will present about the project background. Project background consists of two sections, which is the history of the company and the vision and mission of the company. For the history of the company, it is owned by Mr. Firdaus bin Shahruddin, and the Maju Nikmat Sdn Berhad is a car rental services company, and they offer car rental services around KL in Wangsa Maju area. Without prior IT knowledge and computer-related educational background, Mr. Firdaus had to compete with other big companies that offer same services but equipped with advanced technology and advanced systems. So we are trying to help Mr. Firdaus by develop one system that help to ease the booking process. Next, I will explain about the problem statement. There are three problems that faced by Mr. Firdaus, which are the management of data, lack of staff, and platform to booking cars conveniently. And the proposed solutions for the problems. For management of data, we are trying to solve the problems by store the information, personal details, and bookings reservations by store it automatically in our database. Next, for the lack of staff, for the systems, it is organized to handle the staff issues, as it offers to handle many customers at one time instead of using staff manually that can handle only one staff at one time. The last one is platform to booking car convenience. The system can book cars available anytime and anywhere, and the systems will update it daily and as soon as the bookings are made.
The objectives are: the first one is understand requirement, obtain commitment to requirements, manage requirement changes, maintain bi-directional traceability of requirement, and lastly to ensure alignment between project work and requirements. So next is requirements management. The goal of requirement management is to keep track of the project's product and component requirement in order to guarantee that they are in sync with the project's goal and work deliverable. So next is sub-process 1.1, which is understand requirement. The requirement are assigned to all activities or area as the project progress and the needs are derived. So there are four sub-practice. The first one is establish criteria for distinguishing appropriate requirements provider. Sub-practice 2 is establish objective criteria for the evaluation and acceptance of requirement. Sub-practice 3 is analyze requirement to ensure that the established criteria are met. Sub-practice 4 is to reach an understanding of the requirement. So next is sub-practice 1.1.1, which is product perspective. The 4-wheel car rental system is developed purposely for this project for customers who want to rent a car online. This application is separated into two subsystems, one for customer and one for admin. Next is 1.1.2, which is product functionality. This is product and its functionality that have been provided in the system. Thank you.
We continue with users and characteristics. This system has two types of users, which are customers and admin. Both users have their own characteristics. In this case, customers are called as authorized user because only user with authorized account can make a reservation. The limitation for user is specified only to their registered account. The frequency of use is medium, and they can access registered users space only by entering their registered username and password. And for admin, only registered admin can get the permission to log in into the admin account. There is no limitation for admin and they can have more access into the whole function. The frequency of use is high and they can have access to the system but not other user account. The next part is operating environment. This environment consists of two, which is hardware and software. For hardware, this system requires a device with at least dual core with minimum core speed of 1 GHz. The device space should be at least 1 GB to store any information and data. For software, this system will work in browsers such as Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, and etc. The system uses XAMPP server as its web hosting. Next is design and implementation constraints. During the implementation, we have faced several constraints and limitations including security, hardware, and software constraints. For security, malicious material should not be stored in the files and database that contain information about the users and only authenticate users have access to the data. While for hardware constraints, a PC with at least 1 GB of RAM and a CPU speed of at least 1 GHz is required to run the system at a constant pace. Lastly, for software constraints, Windows or Mac OS and Android or iOS are required to run the system. Next is user documentation. As we can see, this is our domain class diagram for our reference when constructing database and developing system. As we stated earlier, admins and customer are two main users of the system, so it is divided into two subsystems, each with its own interface. Customer utilize the system to make car reservation, while admin use it to keep track of reservation and manage the cars in the system.
So for assumption and dependency, we consult Encik Firdaus, the owner of Maju Nimat Sdn Berhad, before developing the system to gather vital information and detail about their operation in order to assist them in improving their business management. So after having a consultation with them, we decided to have a meeting session with our team members to discuss and to make basic assumption for the system. So, based on our finding, we assume that the system has some limit, such as user must have proper authentication to access the system. So after that, we decided to retrieve confirmation from the stakeholder through another Google Meet meeting session and decided to go on to the following phase, which is development phase, to distribute the task among the team members once everyone understand all of the requirement. So for sub-practice 1.2, to ensure that our client is satisfied with our job, we need to have all of the team members to participate and commit. The team will be in charge of their own task, which is distributed respectively. So before assigning tasks to our team, we held a Google Meet discussion to discuss all of the requirements from our stakeholder. We also continue to discuss the duties in the WhatsApp group when all of the team members of the project team have a thorough understanding of it. We also use Discord as our medium for regular meeting in order to keep track of task progress of the team member. Following that, we distribute the tasks among the team members and continue working on the SRS document.
Manage requirements changes. So, change in requirements need to be managed throughout the project. Configuration identification, configuration control, configuration status accounting, and configuration audit are used to maintain and ensure the integrity of the program. So, there are four subpractice. Subpractice 1, document all requirements and requirements changes that are given to or generated by the project. Subpractice 2, maintain a requirement to change history, including the rationales for changes. Subpractice 3, evaluate the impact of requirement changes from the standpoint of relevant stakeholders. Subpractice 4, make requirements and change data available to the project. Maintain bidirectional traceability of requirement. So, maintain bidirectional traceability between requirements and work product. The objective of this specific practice is to maintain the two-way traceability of needs. So, for the sub-practice, it generates the requirement traceability matrix. There are two techniques. The first one is technical requirement document, known as TRD, and the second one is businesses requirement document, known as BRD. So for the ensure alignment between the project work and the requirement, So the sub-practice 1 is review project plans, activities and work product for consistency with requirements and changes made to them. For the sub-practice 2, identify the source of the inconsistency. And so the sub-practice 3, identify any changes that should be made to plans and work product resulting from changes to the requirement baseline. And the sub-practice 4, initiate any necessary corrective actions.